cybersecurity work so that we can grow the cybersecurity workforce in Africa. I want to welcome the participants, those in the hall. Good morning, bonjour, comment ça va? How are you people doing? I'll also welcome those that are joining us online. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for putting this conference together. My name is Chioma Chigozie-Okwum, and I'm the head of the Information and Communications Technology at the Spiritan University, Nochi. Okay, so before I will move ahead. Okay. My plan today is to is for us to first of all look at the state of the cybersecurity workforce in Africa, and then we'll look at what is the role of mentorship, and then what is the role of shadowing in growing our skill sets. I was listening earlier to the discussion that was going on, and I can assure you that after this conference, we are not going to go home the same. We would have honed the skills that we have, and then would have acquired more skills so that we are able to improve on what we do as cybersecurity experts in Africa. There is a myth, is it a myth or a saying that Africa still depends a lot on imported skill sets and technology in the cybersecurity space. But I tell people that it's not like we don't have the skill sets. We have a lot of skill sets, we have a lot of skills in the cybersecurity space, but I think we are top heavy. When I say we are top heavy, we have a lot of guys with plenty skills at the top, the CISOs, the big guys, the managers, and then a few guys at the mid-level. Then at the bottom, who are supposed to do who are supposed to be the ones that are carrying out the main job, we're lacking a lot of skill sets there, because first of all, cybersecurity education and trainings and certifications are very expensive. So many of them are priced in dollars, and when you now convert them to most of our African currencies, it becomes very difficult for most of us to assess. Most people that venture into cybersecurity would have studied either computer science, programming, database management, hardware engineering, network administration, and a whole lot of other disciplines that are existing, cloud computing, just to mention but a few. And then the skills that we require, that what we're going to be talking about, I want to talk about skills. What are the skills that we're looking at? We're looking at coding skills, networking skills, incident handling, incident response, data management, protection, analytics and intelligence, application and system security, and even digital forensics. And then there are so many career paths in cybersecurity, and the problem we have is that we want to have it all. We want to have all the skills. Each of us want to present as a unicorn. I can do everything, and at the end of the day, we're not able to do it effectively. There are so many career paths. We have people that develop security softwares. We have security architectures, those in security consulting, information security analysts, ethical hackers, penetration testers, CISOs, the chief information security officers, forensic analysts, those that are handling governance, risk management, and the compliance. And then we have cybersecurity writers, technical writers, researchers, and the educators like me. We depend on the internet for everything we do, and that is where the field of cybersecurity is beginning to get a lot of attention, because before now, people didn't have to do a lot of work or business online, but now everything is going online. And because of that, there is a surge in cyber insecurities. And so many countries in Africa are yet to attain what we call cybersecurity maturity. That means growing their cybersecurity resilience, like if you go to the West, even small and medium scale enterprises have cybersecurity protocols, cybersecurity outfits in their establishment, no matter how small. But we only see that kind of cybersecurity maturity only mostly in the fintechs, in the financial sector in Africa. So that is why it's looking like a lot is not happening. But in the near future, because of the way we are evolving as a continent, we're going to be getting a lot of cybersecurity maturity across all platforms, education, health sector, the government, and all that. You know, there was a conference that was held in Malabo, the African by the African Union in 2014, and at that conference, the key information that was passed is that all member states should, adopt cybersecurity and data protection policies, and create positive steps that will help to grow the industry. But even after that conference in 2014, it's just a very few countries, that have developed national cybersecurity frameworks, and that are also growing their local content in terms of scale, manpower, resources, and creating tools. Countries, some of these countries that are evidently working. You see some countries like South Africa, even Nigeria to an extent. Yeah, we have a very robust cybersecurity national framework and all that, even though all is not yet Uhuru with us around here. Okay, so, and we need to grow our skill sets so that we don't have to depend so much on foreign tools and expertise, as a continent. And how do we do this? Our universities, our polytechnics, our colleges, they're beginning to run programs in cybersecurity, but you and I can attest to the fact that these programs are not adequate because of bureaucratic bottlenecks. The curriculum most times may not be adequate, the delivery method may not be adequate, and all that. So if you want to say you want to go the route of certifications, they're actually very expensive, and they're not the average person who is still struggling to survive in the continent may not be able to access those very expensive certifications. So how do we grow our cybersecurity? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I got a kickback sound, so I had to stop. So I was saying that the only way we can grow our cybersecurity skill sets, where we're able to carry everybody along, both the struggling and the wealthy, is if we take the route of mentorship and shadowing. So when I talk about mentorship, who is a mentor? A mentor is that person who helps to train, to develop, and inspire people, coming after him or her to become like him and even become better. And as a mentor, you are supposed to lead. As a mentor, you are supposed to give valuable advice. As a mentor, you're also supposed to direct. And before you can become a mentor, you need to have been there. You can't be mentoring people, by maybe things that you read, or mentoring people based on things that you've heard. You should be there. You should understand the rudiment. You should have been in the eye of the storm for you to assume the role of a mentor. And you should have very good knowledge of the skill set, particular skill set that you want to mentor people on. And apart from being there and having a good reputation, a good knowledge, you should also have a good reputation in the industry. People should be able to throw good recommendations at you randomly. And you must have made a lot of mistakes as a mentor and learned from your mistakes, so that you're able to direct people that are looking up to you, so that they don't make the same mistakes that you make. And then as a mentor, you should be very open to share. That is the problem most of us have. We want to be the only person We want to be the only eye, that sees. We want to be the only king, that rules in the sector. And cybersecurity is a war right now, and no one person can win a war. So you must be able to share openly, be very honest with people, tell them things that you know honestly, the things that you don't know, admit I don't know them honestly, and then you should be able to help your mentees, that the people that they are mentoring, should be able to help them to grow their network as well as their net worth. What do I mean? People that you are mentoring should be able to come into your space and meet people that are in your space, and you won't be jealous that they're going to take away your friends or your contacts or your colleagues. You should be able to share, help them to grow their network. And in growing their network, they're also able to grow their net worth, because people will actually begin to sign them up for jobs that will help them to earn and become independent. And you should be able to lead people that your mentees to achieving their full potential. Don't be scared that they will take over from you, or that they'll become better than you. Lead them to achieve their full potential. The sky is actually very big enough to accommodate everybody. And you should know as a mentor at what point you will now set your mentee free and allow them to begin to thrive on their own. Don't keep them perpetually under your apron. That is what most mentors do. They don't want you to fly on your own. They want you to remain perpetually under their watch, which is not a very good thing to do. And when your mentees are confused, or when they are not moving along the right path, or when they are making wrong decisions, as a mentor, you should be able to help them to connect the missing dots, in their career path, in how they are honing their skills, and in how they are acquiring the skills that they need to become better. Okay. What does mentorship do for us in the field of cybersecurity? When we have good mentors that are taking up younger people to mentor, taking up mentees, they transfer their professional competencies in the most practical way. Because if I'm mentoring someone and I have a job, I shouldn't be scared of bringing the person close to me when I'm doing the job, to see the skills I have, to see the expertise I'm exhibiting, to see the secrets that I'm using to tackle any of the tasks that I'm carrying out. And as a mentor, for us, what mentorship does is it helps us to identify where we have skill deficiencies. Like if we have a group of mentors, then we identify that we are lacking in maybe pen testers or vulnerability testers, or we don't have enough incident responders, red teamers. Then what do? When we identify these deficiencies, we try to cover these skill gaps, by bringing them, we'll now begin to identify who have these skills at that top level. Okay, can we organize a mentorship program? There is one that is going on right now in Nigeria. It's called Cyber Girls. It is anchored by Confidence Stavely. You can check her out on LinkedIn. Confidence Stavely have taken a group of girls who didn't have any skill at all in cybersecurity, and in the last few months, going on 6 months now, these girls have actually started attaining hacker status. They are beginning to do a lot of things. They're beginning to grow a lot of skills from zero to a point where they're actually marketable. It's actually if we leverage on mentorship, is a very proven method of teaching practical skills, moving from theory to practical. Because when you go to classrooms, we speak a lot of grammar, we write a lot on the board, but when you are under somebody's mentorship, the person carries you along and gives you small tasks at the outset, and as you begin to improve, begin to increase the number of tasks that you are giving, and you begin to see that your skills begin to improve from a point where you don't know what to do, or a lot of what to do, to a point where you can actually do a lot. And for us, if we leverage on mentorship, is actually a stepping stone for us to grow sustainable collaborations. I don't see the reason why a mentee should fall out with their mentor. So when a mentee has actually attained a state where the mentor can actually set them free and let them be on their own, they now become colleagues, and the cycle, the cycle starts again on the part of the former mentee, who now becomes a mentor to younger people. And with that, you find out that we begin to grow and expand. So let me talk a little bit about shadowing. With a difference between mentorship and shadowing. With mentorship, the onus lies on the big guys who have the skill to now look for people that they are going to take under their wings to train. But with regards to shadowing, the people who are looking out to grow their skills have to identify. Hello, are you with me?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, so with regards to shadowing now, the big guy doesn't necessarily have to identify, be the one to identify that you have a skill, the deficiency. You as a person that needs to grow your skill, you identify that person, that host, that leader that you want to become like. You want to gain his kind of skill, you want to have his kind of network, you have to want to have his kind of impact in the industry, and you begin to follow them. You begin to, how do you start? You can start following them up on social media. You can connect with them on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then you begin to volunteer to some of the things that they do. If they're having a program, you can actually volunteer to become a freelance volunteer. You can help them set up equipment, help them when they want to, do certain things. And as you're helping, you're also learning. There's a lot of skills that you learn when you are around these people. So it's very powerful tool that you can use. You don't have to wait for the mentor to say, okay, I want to mentor 1,000 youths across Africa. I have a mentorship program. I have funding from the United Nations or whatever. You as a person who wants to become better can seek out those industry bigwigs, the CISOs, the big guys, the ones that are running the industry. You seek them out, you shadow them, and you learn the strategies that they use. How do they make their posts online? What conferences are they attending? You can sign up and attend. What meetings are they on? You can sign up and attend those meetings. You can. I've mentioned that you can actually volunteer to their courses, and it will help you to expand your network. Because when you follow someone who knows a lot of what he's doing, you will see a lot of people around him who also know what they're doing, and you're able to, connect with them and expand your network and expand your skill. And you also learn firsthand when you are following someone. If you look at the diagram that I attached, you see the host on red, who knows where he's going. He has all the skills, he has all the expertise, he has all the network, he has all the connections. And you see a group of people, the guys on white, stepping on his footprints, following him, learning from him, volunteering, being around and garnering skills from what he does and how he does what he does. Okay, so I would pause here, and I would be open to take if there are any questions or reactions or any comments or additions, and then we will take it up from there. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Madam. The first one is, do there exist some mentorship program open to all Africans, so that all Africans, irrespective of the country where the person is, can join that mentorship? Do there exist some at the level of African countries?
Okay, as much as I'm aware, we don't have a Pan-African mentorship program that I'm aware of right now. Most of the ones I know are, they are mostly domiciled in Africa. Sorry, in Nigeria. Maybe it's because we the mentors, we haven't come together to say, okay, let's do something on the continental level, or something that cuts across the different countries that make up, or even if we don't take it on a continental level, we can even start from a regional level, maybe West Africa. It's actually something that can be achieved. We can start small from when we can say countries that are in West Africa, we can actually start from there. Then how do we now move it from the regional level to a continental level? But the more we have these discussions and conversations, and I tell people that most of us in the cybersecurity profession, we haven't learned the importance of collaboration and doing things together. If I have a program, I can actually collaborate with somebody. I was speaking to a lady from Cameroon. Yeah, I think she's from Cameroon on LinkedIn. She wanted to she wanted to set up a low-priced program for, I'm not sure. She's coming from Cameroon, one of those French-speaking countries, because I know we were having issues with understanding each other because she's French and I speak English. So she wanted to open up a low-priced program for people to gain cybersecurity skills. She was focusing on the marketing aspect. So if we can come together, and if I have a program and I have enough infrastructure to carry people from across, because now I don't think the distance or where you're staying, location is a barrier. We can actually do anything online. So this question is actually a call to action for mentorship programs to move beyond state-based or country-based, maybe to regional based, and with time we can actually have a continental platform where we can exchange ideas and build capacity.
Okay, madam, thanks for the response. The second question is, according to you, do the African government take into account, do they see the problem of the importance of cyber task force, as do the problem matter to them?
The problem does not matter to them right now, because like I mentioned in the outset, that we don't have, most African countries don't have the cybersecurity maturity that we see in the West. Why? Because Africa is most of our countries are classified as third world. We are developing. Most of our businesses have not gone fully online or automated. If we come to most of our countries, we don't have proper data governance. We don't have that synergy, across government ministries. You have people, different ministries having databases that are domiciled in within their own space. There is no data governance. There is no interconnectivities. We are still doing things pretty much manually. So that is why we are just relaxing and feeling that is not an issue. You only see banks, because for banks to function, they need to have branches even in the rural areas. They need to be able to connect with payment platforms abroad. So because of that, they are forced to grow their cybersecurity maturity. We don't even have these things in the educational sector. We don't consider that. In cybersecurity, we talk about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Most of what we focus on now is on confidentiality. That is because most of the people that are carrying out cybersecurity protocols are financial sector, because they need your information to be confidential. Have we even looked at maybe someone hacking into a university's system and changing their grades, or doing so many things to the integrity of data, or even in the hospitals? You could actually hack into a hospital's data if everything is online. You can change someone's prescriptions and things like that. You tamper with integrity, and then availability. Most of our manufacturing industries are still manual. They don't have the IT, OT, the information technology, operational technology, juxtaposition. So because we are still there, we are still back there, the government is just relaxing. They're not doing enough. Even in Nigeria, that we've had a policy document as in a national cybersecurity framework since 2015. That's a year after what happened in Malabo. We are still talking about we will set up a cybersecurity incident response agency. We will. Even in the edit that we did in 2021, we're still saying we will. We will, even though we're having these conversations, but there is nothing tangible. So, but the danger in thinking that we are safe because we are not yet there yet is that with the way the technology is evolving, especially with this COVID-19, now we have schools online, we have churches online, we have businesses moving online. With the way it is going, we can wake up one morning and everybody is now online, and there is no framework, there is no infrastructure, there is no plan to secure these businesses, these institutions, and everything can actually start crumbling before our eyes. So this is the time to start working, because if we wait for when we have everything that we need, we might actually be shooting ourselves in the leg.
Okay, yes, thanks. We have another question.
No, I'm not able to hear. I can't hear who is speaking, please.
I wish to find out that despite the growing need for cybersecurity workforce, what would be your ambition in this field in Africa within the nearest future? What will be your hope, and also the changes which us the cybersecurity professionals can bring up in order for the government to trust on securing the infrastructure of this country?
Okay, yeah. Like I told someone in a meeting that I was yesterday, I told someone that we have a lot of skills, we have a lot of talent, because Africa, we have a young population. We have a population of teeming young people who have a lot of things that they want to do and they want to achieve. And like I told people earlier, when you look at what is happening in the US, I've been shadowing a few people, cybersecurity experts in the US. I've been shadowing them and looking at what they do. Breaking into cybersecurity, you don't necessarily have to have a degree in cybersecurity, in computing, or any of those sorts that I mentioned earlier. They are beginning to see the need, the emergency in the industry, and they are beginning to open. There's what we call gatekeeping. They are beginning to open their gates to let more people come in. People are breaking into cybersecurity from project management, from engineering, from the health sector. You know, all you need to do is just to garner some of the skills that you need. And most of them break in through policy, governance, policy, risk management frameworks, implementation, and compliance. They break in from there, and then before time they begin to escalate and take up more technical roles like vulnerability testing, penetration testing, ethical hacking, digital forensics, and all that. So for the continent, I think I'm projecting that if we keep being intentional about growing our cybersecurity programs, about growing our cybersecurity skill sets, in the next 5 years, you know, we'll get to a point where we are able to sustain ourselves. We don't need to look out in the West. You know, we don't need to look outside of the continent to get the tools, to get the expertise, to get the manpower that we need to solve our problem, because a lot of work is going on. But we need to be more intentional about this, about what we are doing, about the skills that we are growing, you know, to avoid having our skill sets skewed to one end. Maybe we have a lot of ethical hackers and that is just all we have, because most people think that cybersecurity is just about ethical hacking or maybe about penetration testing and all that. So we need to be intentional and be able to spread our programs. You know, are there mentorship programs? Are there training programs? We need to spread them to be able to, you know, cover all the spectrum, the entire cybersecurity spectrum, so that we have all the skills that we need. And people are beginning to think about creating tools, creating local tools, you know, that can be used. Because most of those tools that were used were created by human beings. They were not created, you know, they didn't fall from the sky. So that the only way we can improve this is if we improve the quality of cybersecurity education in the continent. The curriculum that we use in our universities, polytechnics, and colleges, making it available for young people who are not very financially stable to be able to access certification programs. How can we subsidize these programs? You have a program costing as much as $3,000, you know, $2,000, $1,000, $700. How do you achieve that in a continent that we are still struggling to, you know, eat 3 times a day? But we need people to gain these skills. So that is why we are preaching for mentors, people who maybe because they work for blue chip companies, they're able to achieve these skills, you know, acquire these skills, get this certification. They can actually, you know, help train others through these mentorship programs, you know, and be open when younger people meet you for, you know, skill advice and all that. And then we should also let our gates open so that we can get in more young people into the profession so that they can grow on the job. And in the near future, we should be able to, if we have an army of cybersecurity professionals who know what they are doing and who can stand, you know, the test, then the government don't have any reason to begin to look elsewhere. You know, before long, you see countries like in Nigeria, I know they make some rules and policies that ensure that companies, you know, source local content skills and local content products, you know, softwares and all that. So the future is very bright, but we need to work hard to get there.
Yes, madam. One question for you. Someone is asking someone in the field, how do someone in the field find a mentor?
Okay, how do you find a mentor?
Yes.
I assume that all of you in that room are intentional about growing yourself as professionals. Where do you find professionals? Where do professionals hang out? Where is their professionals field day? It's on LinkedIn. Okay, so when you go out there on LinkedIn, you follow discussions that, you know, you follow hashtags and discussions that talk about the area that you want to specialize on or on cybersecurity as a whole. That way you begin to get notifications, you begin to get on your feed when most of these big people they are speaking at this conference, they are speaking at that conference, they are at this event, they are at that event. So what do? Most of these events are free these days. It's just your phone or your laptop and your mobile internet access. So when you visit, you go on these platforms, you can actually listen to them and see whether what you're seeing online, is it actually how savvy the person is with regards to how the person is able to deliver on the content that they've come to deliver. And most times when these people come to speak at events, they drop their email addresses, they drop their LinkedIn handles, they ask you to follow them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. You follow them. When they make posts, you comment on their posts intelligently, not all those thanks for sharing. No, we don't. Thanks. No, you comment intelligently, you engage intelligently. And then when they call for people to volunteer, or when they are opening for mentorship, when someone is always seeing you around their space, it won't be too difficult to sign you up when there are openings for mentorship, or they want to call for volunteers and all that. So these are some of the ways that people, like most of the mentors I have, I get to know them for so many years or for so many months before I even get to meet them physically. I seek them out online. I follow them. I follow their contributions, their comments. I engage in their comments. I listen to them. I follow them to programs that they do mostly online. I contribute. I listen. I learn. And then before long, we are actually beginning to familiarize, and we are beginning to, share ideas, and I'm also beginning to learn. So that is what I encourage young people to do. Even in your country, there are big wigs, there are big wigs that are in the industry, even though people complain that most of them are not very receptive, but don't be deterred. The ones that are not very receptive might be few. So many might actually be very open and receptive, and they're able to lead you, to achieving your goal. Thank you.
EOCON do? What are some actions that EOCON can do to contribute in the building of that task force?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
I was saying that what are some actions that EOCON can take in order to contribute to that task force, the task force building in Africa or in Cameroon?
Okay. EOCON has set up this beautiful platform, has organized this amazing conference, drawing speakers from across the continent. Let it not stop there. At the end of this conference, I'm expecting EOCON to come out with a very strong communique, highlighting most of the things that all the speakers have mentioned, especially the ones that need action, the action points. You highlight these action points, and EOCON should partner with any of the agencies in your country that works with cybersecurity, and let them have a copy of these conversations that we've had, and the action points that we've raised. And when they see that EOCON is consistently contributing to the issues of the moment with regards to cybersecurity and the discussions, they'll begin to invite you to the roundtables, to the policy meetings. That is when you are now able to speak up and seek for actions, towards raising task forces, raising strategies, implementation plans, and all that. So you have to start from lending your voice. And how do you lend your voice? Let everything that have been discussed here, all the action points that have been raised, all the suggestions that have been made, let it be put together into a beautiful communique, and let it be put out, circulated across the continent as much as you can, so that you are able to contribute your voice to the discussion towards a sustainable cybersecurity ecosystem of the continent and of your country in particular.
Okay, Thank you, Madam. We are very satisfied, more than satisfied for this, for the information, for the talk, for all the tricks and tips that you are giving for all professional or young professional, the step they should take in order to enter or to make their career great through shadowing and mentorship. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. Let's see you next time. Can we clap for the knowledge? Can we clap for the availability?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys soon.